This is the House of Hockey podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. Hockey is more than a game, it's a lifestyle. It's you, the diehard supportive fans, your favorite players who are on the team you cheer for, and the organization who supports them.
The companies that make your gear, bags, and beer league sweaters. The hockey moms and hockey dads, and everything else that makes this House of Hockey your home. Come on in. I'm Breezy.
And I'm Rae.
And this is our house. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Hockey podcast, episode 150. I'm one of your hosts, Breezy.
And I'm your other host, Rae. I can't believe we've done 150 episodes.
That's a big number. Like when you look at it, you're like, whoa, that's a big number.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to wrap my head around that we've done that many episodes.
Yeah.
Happily, but that's a lot.
It's a crap ton of episodes.
That's a lot of episodes. And if you've been listening to all of those episodes, thank you. We love you.
Yeah.
We love doing it. So we hope you enjoy them.
Yes. Highlight of our week, for sure. Well, at least it's my week. I don't know about your week. Sometimes you're like, gosh darn it. You're never like that. I don't know why it's just so.
I don't know. No, sometimes I'm just like, I get so wrapped up in everything else I'm doing that I'm like, oh my God, we got to do the podcast. Yeah. But no, I thoroughly enjoy doing this. It's like the one piece of content that's for me. Well, it's for you too, but like I do content for all these other people, and it's the one piece of content I get to do. That's something I enjoy. So
yeah. Plus, it gives us the excuse to watch as much hockey as we want. And we have to say, like, we have to do it for the pod.
Yeah, it's work. Yeah, you got to watch it.
It's work. Yeah.
Yeah. So no special guests this week. It's just the two of us, and I feel like we should just start with a real quick series check, real quick, just so people know where we're at and what's happening in the timeline of life that is playoff hockey. So it is Sunday, May 7th when we're recording. I'm going to start in the East. The Florida Panthers lead the series 2-0.
Okay. So
it's insane.
It is insane. But it's so hard. You and I are in a group chat with our friend Alma. She was our co-host a couple weeks back. And this series is so much fun to watch, in my opinion. And it's not because of, I don't really know, because like I'm obviously a Leafs fan, but I also really love Matthew Tkachuk. But I also really love the fact that the Panthers were expected to like not do a whole lot unless you were like a Panthers fan. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the fact that they went and like beat the Bruins, and everyone was like, what the crap, like how does that happen? And then now like in this second round they're just going for it, and there was something that I was like, what is happening? Like I need to figure this out. And I read a article, I think it was on NHL.com, where Matthew Tkachuk and, I'm drawing a blank on his name, Sam Bennett, were like bros up in Calgary. And I read like the whole story on the two of them, and how Bennett was the one that like kind of persuaded Matthew to like want to go down there and play. And now they just have like this crazy bond. And like now that they're back into the playoffs together, it's just one of those things that they're just like really connecting, and the whole team is kind of like coming together. And I was like, dude, these guys could make it pretty far if they're going to continue to do what they're doing, because they're fun to watch, and they just have something that I don't think any other team has. And I don't know if that's like enough to make them like win the whole thing, obviously, but they have something different than, say, like the Dallas Stars, who are obviously clicking really well, or the Oilers, who are like big and tough and strong. Like the Panthers just have something different.
They do. A little grit, a little underdog energy, a little underrated Florida team that people don't in the national scene don't really pay a lot of attention to or talk about. And I think they have that on their side, and I could see them in the final.
Yeah, I think that they might be my like who I'm polling for.
Okay.
I think I might be pulling for them to make it pretty far, which kind of sucks because like I'd be going against the Leafs, you know what I mean? But I think just with their story, it's like it could be cool. It
Yeah.
could be cool to see.
Yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
obviously people are debating the other headline of, does the Leafs win in the first round mean nothing now if they get booted out of this round? Like, does
Yeah.
it mean nothing? Because, like, okay, you got past that, but you still crap the bed and like aren't gonna make it. I mean, it's only they're only it's only 2-0, but like
Yeah. They can come back.
it's not looking great. It can happen. We know it can happen. So like we can't rule
Yeah.
that out, but
Yeah. But I
we
think also like if you look at it as a season in general, well, Leafs fans are looking at it as like an entire like 50 seasons, whatever it is. But if you look at this season in general, like the team that crapped the bed the worst was
Bruins.
was the Bruins.
Yeah.
And arguably kind of the Rangers too. I mean,
Yes.
if you really want to say it, so like the Leafs, like they've done, they've made strides over the past couple of years, and this year, obviously making out of the first round was huge. They make it out of the second round. I mean, it's always going to be something. It's like,
Right.
okay, well, if now you made it out of the second round, if you don't make it through the third, then you guys suck. If you're not making it to the final, you suck. If you don't win the cup, you suck.
I feel like they have to make it past the second round.
I
Or
feel
else
like they
they're
have to.
basically just the same as all the years past, not getting out of the first round. Like
But
it's
even
an
if it went to like a
accomplishment.
game 7 in the second round and they lost, I feel like you got to give them credit. Like if they get swept, that's not good. That's you might as well have been first round exit.
Yes.
Do you know what I?
I agree. I agree. I think we're on the same page here, as I think most
Yeah,
people are. I mean, I'm sure there are people who are like, no, but look at how great and look at the stats and blah blah. Like, no, it's just been too many years with that core team that haven't produced and the amount of
yeah,
money that they are paying those guys. Let's talk about Carolina and New Jersey. Carolina is also leading the series 2-0,
yeah.
which I mean, based on our conversation with Christy a couple episodes ago, who is a writer and follows the Devils, they're resilient, the Devils, so you can't really count them out.
Right.
However, they're having a pretty difficult time right now getting through Carolina, who's also got that something special that is
Hmm.
just kind of working. And just because they don't have as many trendy names, I'll go with, like the Hughes and like that kind of thing,
Hmm.
and Carolina's got so many of their star players out with injuries, like Svechnikov and the former Max Pacioretty, and there's a
Hmm.
third person that's out for them. I mean, it's unreal what they're able to do without some of their big names.
Yeah, yeah. I mean the Hurricanes. I didn't really pay too much attention to in the first round, so that's my bad. I can't really say anything on that. But the Devils, I expected a little bit more out of them for it to be more of like an evenly matched series, I guess. By the way that they played against the Rangers, but um, I like Christy said, they're resilient. They'll probably come back, and I think that they want to. I think I watched the first game, and it looked like there was a lot of like anger on the Devils bench. Maybe I
Okay.
think it might have been the first game. It could have been the second game. So I feel like the third game is going to be a different story.
Yeah, it's
But I
going.
have I have no other comment on that.
That's okay. No, I think they're going to come back with regrouped and probably hopefully more prepared. And if they can't,
Hmm.
I mean, like Christy said, for the Devils, it's a win-win for them whether they get exited out of this round or not, because they weren't expected to have the season they had to begin with.
Right.
They're still young, they're still finding their rhythm, so this is good for them in the long term,
Hmm.
and
Right.
looks good. But like you can't say that about the Leafs, which is, it's just how it is. It's just what it
Yeah.
is. It's just what
Just
it
what it
is.
is.
This week's episode of the House of Hockey podcast is brought to you by Light the lamp during the hockey playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can make a $5 bet and score $150 in bonus bets instantly. Make sure to open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now to check the available lines and all the incredible odds that they offer for all of our playoff hockey games that are happening right now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up with code THPN. That's THPN for the Hockey Podcast Network. New customers can make a $5 hockey playoff bet and score $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's code THPN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, that's 467-369. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 and over in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for offer details. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Over in the West, we've got the Kraken and Dallas. See, why do we interchange? Like, I never say Seattle and Dallas. I say like it just like comes out different every time. It's the Kraken and the Stars. Thing. Everybody knows what we're talking about, though. They're tied at 1-1. I
what
think
a series so far.
Yeah.
Dude, this one is fun to watch. I have to prepare myself. I sit down, no distractions, and I'm just watching this thing. Captain America, Joe Pavelski. I mean, I'm always going to call him Captain America because I feel like I have to. That guy is insane. And I feel like this team this year for Pavs is the best team in a 5-year span that he spent in the Sharks. So the most talent that he's probably has ever played with is on this team currently. And I think he's running with it. I think that he's just fired up. He came back from injury. He's let's do this, boys. Let's gather. Let's just kind of do it. On the flip side, though, the Kraken are insane. They are, I think, still somewhat of underdogs. I feel even though they shouldn't be, but I feel they kind of were crapped on for their first season when you compare it to Vegas. Yeah. And I think that they just kind of are going with the flow. They obviously want to win, but I feel that they're just playing their game and they're just doing what they have to do to keep it going. And maybe not the way I'm getting it is their mentality going into it is let's just play our game. Let's have fun. Let's just try to win this. Yeah. And not thinking of the big picture, you're in the playoffs. That's my personal opinion on them.
They're going game to game.
Game to game. Yeah.
One day at a time.
One day at a time.
And
you know what I mean, though?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. I think not letting that pressure of playoffs and Stanley Cup and we're a new team and all the comparisons and all that. It's they've pushed that all away and they're just playing hockey.
Right.
That's it.
Which you have to root for at the same time. So this series is also to hard because it's I want the Kraken to win, but I'm also pulling for the Stars because I feel they have something too. And I was talking to my dad the other night. I was could you imagine a Stars versus Panthers Stanley Cup Final?
It's gonna happen. I just feel that's gonna happen.
That's what I'm thinking.
That would be a really interesting. Yeah.
Because it's hot states.
Yes. Hot states.
States.
Teams that had good, above average, above good. What's above good? Seasons, whatever's above good, but not incredible seasons, but they had really solid seasons. They're playing consistent. They're doing well.
Breakout players.
Right. Breakout players. Yeah. Dallas got, lucky, I think, facing the Wild in the first round, especially without Pavelski. It's the Pavelski show right now, which isn't necessarily always a good thing, though. And they did have something going for them without him in the lineup. So if Pavelski wasn't performing and getting what he did, that's also problematic. So the Stars have to be a little careful here because they had something working without him for a while. And now would that work against Seattle? Will that work against the Panthers? I don't know. I think Pavelski and the team they can't just rely on Pavelski. So
like, where's Robinson? Like, he's got to step it up a little bit.
Robertson or Robinson?
Gosh darn it. Why do I always get confused?
I think it's Robertson. Not like Mrs. Robinson.
I'm just going to say Jason.
Jason R. JR
needs to step it up.
Perfect. We've solved that finally. You're welcome, everybody.
JR, I don't think he's been scoring as much. I'm trying to remember. I know Sagan scored this in the last game, and obviously Pavelski, but I mean, if he starts firing off on all cylinders again, I mean, watch out.
Yeah, watch out. And then we've got lastly the Vegas Oilers series. See, I did it again. I said the Vegas Oilers.
You're just trying to channel your inner Britney Spears.
Why can't I say Golden Knights Oilers? You know why? Maybe. I don't know. I think it has to do with the logos. Like for some reason,
because it says Oilers and then you see a V.
Yeah, I think maybe that has something, whatever. Either way, that series is tied also. Again, I think that
series is bonkers.
Yeah. The West is going to take forever again in this round. I think the East is going to be done at least a game or two before the West series are decided.
Yeah, Vegas and Edmonton hate each other at this point.
The fighting is incredible.
And Evander Kane hates everybody in Vegas, fans and all.
Did you see he blew a kiss to a fan who was flipping him the bird?
Flipping him off, yeah.
First of all, I love that, but wait a second. He totally stole that from Tanev in Seattle, who did that in the first round. But that's fine. I love this. Like, let's make this a thing in the NHL where all the players just blow kisses at fans who are talking crap and flipping them off. Like, I love it. Like, let's make that a thing in hockey.
That would be funny.
Where they're just like,
I mean, I think it is a thing, but it just needs to happen more often.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, now what were you going to say about this series? Okay, Evander Kane hates everybody.
And I saw an interview that just came out that they were asking, they're like, no one really takes body shots in the NHL. Like, what's going on? And he's like, well, no one expects to be blindsided and jump from behind and like chokehold and all this stuff. And he goes, if you're going to F around, then, you got to play. And he said that like straight up in the interview. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, like this is going to be a brutal series. Like I'm expecting to see blood, like way more blood. I'm expecting to see injuries up the wazoo at this point. Like Connor's going to be taken out. I'm just going to say it right now. He's going to be taken out.
Okay. She's on a roll, folks.
I feel like he's got to be taken out at this point. Not that I want him to, but I feel like Vegas is going to come like and be like, screw it. I'm just going to do something to him. Maybe not like super bad, but like hurt his wrist or something where he's not going to be able to
yeah.
Where he's going to be able to like play through it, maybe miss a game, but like, oof.
That would be devastating.
This series is brutal.
It is. Let's face it, with coffee starting at $5, yes, even without any customizations, and our bank account somehow always depleting, we are officially entering a dupe session. Most products do the same thing, but are priced differently solely based on the brand name. So a good duplicate or dupe is crucial for getting the highest quality at the best price. And one dupe you definitely shouldn't sleep on: Raycon wireless earbuds. Raycon is premium audio at the perfect price point, so you can listen to what you want, when you want, without breaking the bank, whether that's the House of Hockey podcast or some Lainey Wilson jams. You might not want to spend a lot of money on earbuds, especially if you lose things easily. That's no worry with Raycon. They're easily replaceable if you lose them. And if you're new to good quality audio, you might not want to spend a ton of money on your first pair. Raycon's mission is to prove that you shouldn't have to pay an arm and leg for quality sound and essential smart tech listening features. You can get a pair and a spare and still pay less than you would with some of those other more big name tech brands out there. Raycon knows that in this economy, every purchase needs to be perfect. They offer buy now, pay later options. Right now, you can pay as low as $18 at checkout. They have an easy and free return guarantee. They offer 2 years of product protection insurance for just a few bucks. They offer free domestic shipping and a flat fee international shipping. They have over 50,000 5-star reviews. One feature of my Raycons that I love are that they're water and sweat resistant, so I don't have to worry when I'm working out that anything is going to happen to them. And also the noise isolation feature, that is also super important when I'm recording the podcast, so I don't have to worry about exterior noise distracting me. They're really, really great products. So go to buyraycon.com/THPN today to get 15% off your Raycon order. That's buyraycon.com/THPN to score 15% off. buyraycon.com/THPN. The second game, Vegas didn't score, right?
No, Edmonton scored 4 goals, I think, in the first period.
4-0 or 4-1?
And it was in the first period is 4-0.
Yeah.
And then I think the game ended 6-1. Maybe?
Oh, no. Yeah, I saw that. I just wait. I could tell you. No, not timeout. I can access it pretty quickly, hopefully, if my phone so excited. My phone is not participating. Hold on. 5-1.
5-1.
5-1. Because they photoshopped the score over Evander Kane's kiss and the woman's middle finger.
Gotcha.
So I knew.
And then now they go back to Edmonton, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, because they were just in Vegas for the last 2. So they're going back to Edmonton.
Crazy. It's exciting. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Some other news about current teams. Jack Hughes. It is everybody, the internet, the Twitter.
Everyone is
freaking out about
RIP stickers everywhere over Jack Hughes. And his perfect smile is now ruined because he lost a tooth.
I didn't get to look up what happened.
I didn't either. I was like overwhelmed. My entire TikTok is Jack Hughes's RIP videos and Taylor Swift in Nashville for night 2.
We're all over the place, folks. But yeah, I guess he lost one of his 2 front teeth, and people were just like all crazed about it. And
yeah, it's making news headlines.
Yes. It is. No, but like people on the internet are so upset about this, and I'm not sure why. It's got to probably be because he's got that Labrador retriever energy where, we want our little cherub to have all his teeth.
All the teeth. And I think that the team in general is probably upset about it because they're calling it the little brother to play in game 3.
Right.
Maybe to stick up for his brother so he doesn't lose another tooth.
I'll be interested to see how Luke does in this sort of scenario. We'll see how many shifts he gets and whatnot. But that's a lot of pressure for Luke, though. So, right. I mean, not that he's not qualified to do it, but that's a lot. But also, I think I wouldn't say that the Devils are playing not to win the Stanley Cup, but I think they're also just sort of like happy where they're at. And if they can give Luke the opportunities and he doesn't, make too many turnovers or cause too many problems, like this is a good opportunity to get him some real on ice training because they aren't like under such pressure to have to win the Stanley Cup. I mean, obviously that's what all the fans want, but I don't know that they are feeling that sort of, I mean, they are, because like every player would tell you that they are playing to win the cup, but I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
New York Rangers, we have to talk about for a second.
Oof. Yep.
Gallant, parted ways. They mutually separated.
And then the next headline you get is he was fired.
He was fired by the head coach was fired by the Rangers. And then the next headline was Joel Quenneville in discussions to take over. And then that rumor was shut down, and that was said then not to be the case. Yeah. Which I don't know if he's allowed to coach again. Who knows? We'll see if he's been blackballed from the coaching world. But either way, that happened. I gotta be honest. I'm not so sure that Gallant really to blame. I mean, I don't know.
Well, didn't he come out with a statement after they lost and said that he wants to be back, or he thinks that he's going to be back in New York next season? That he feels like they did a really good job, that they made, they did what they needed to do. Obviously didn't get to the ultimate goal, but like they did what they needed to do. And he's confident in his skills and the team and happy with the results, because if he wasn't happy, then he would be a bad coach. I think if anyone's listening, want to do it, I think you can go find that somewhere. Yeah. I think my words were kind of correct. I don't know. I'm not a picture perfect memory person. What is it called? Photographic memory.
There you go.
Whatever. It's me. And then this comes out and it's like,
I mean, we've talked about this before at the end of the season, right? The first person to go and the only person to go is always the head coach. Is it always the coach's fault? I don't think so, but he's the one that is the easiest to axe and is just sort of the protocol here. So,
but if you look at it like, so they brought in Tarasenko and Kane, right?
Yeah.
Those are the two main ones that they brought in. But they brought Kane in so late. Yeah. And Tarasenko was like a couple weeks before him. Not to say that they couldn't get it, get into the rhythm of it, but we talked to someone, I forgot who we were talking to, who said it takes more than
Christy.
A couple weeks. Mm-hmm. Christy, yes. And then you have players like Lafreniere who didn't do anything. So and
Panarin.
So like you can't blame the coach. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know, because people are going to get mad at us. But like, you have to have everyone working together. I mean, look at Vegas. I think Vegas had like 14 different players on the score sheet in one game. It's like, yes, you have to contribute at this point. And you can't put all the pressure on Kane just because of what Kane was used to. Kane has been dealing with an injury, which we now know may have to go into surgery. Tarasenko, like you can't put he had a great first 2 games with the Rangers and then kind of like trickled off a little bit. So like you can't put all your money on like 1 or 2 star players and not have backup.
And that's the other thing.
That's what happened.
Yeah. The other thing is finding that chemistry with all of those new people who are all stars. It's not like they're fourth liners or like third liners. You know what I mean? Like you've got these huge names, and they're used, and obviously Tarasenko and Kane have been playing long enough to know that you have to adjust to new teams and new players all the time. But like they both had, Patrick Kane, forget. I mean, he's been with the Blackhawks for 13 seasons, but he had to go through changes with different players being brought up and on his line and stuff. But I think he adjusts pretty well. So I don't think you can blame Patrick Kane. And somebody was like, I think it was a Spit and Chicklets person was like, Patrick Kane was a liability. See? And I'm like, I don't know that he was a liability. I think he added significantly to the team. He assisted several goals in the first round with Kreider. So you can't tell me he's a liability when he's adding and contributing to the team and not trying to be the point scorer. So like, I disagree with that statement.
Because the only names you heard coming out of New York was Kreider and Kane. Like, where was Zibanejad? Like, I didn't, Panarin. You didn't hear any of these names. Like, I don't even think I heard anything from like Adam Fox. But again, I wasn't.
There was some Fox stuff, but yeah.
But I don't think it was enough.
No. And
when it comes to like a first round,
No.
Again, playing against like the Devils, who have Jack Hughes, who's basically like the most popular player. He is the most popular player on that team, and like and Nico, like you heard a little bit about him, but like you didn't hear about like Miles Wood
Right.
too much. You
But
know
he
what I mean? Or
contributes and
Dougie
he's
Hamilton. Yeah.
right. Yeah. I think all right, maybe Gallant should have been fired. I don't know. What do you if you have all this talent and you can't fucking figure out how to get them to work together, then yeah, you're out. I mean,
But he look how much. Well, I guess that's a lie because I was like, well, look at what he did with Vegas in the first year. But like they didn't have like a whole lot of talent. Like they had like weird
no.
names that they just did well. And
Oh
then all
well.
of a sudden they started coming up with giant names and contracts. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I guess I take that statement back.
We'll
I
see,
don't know why I said Vegas.
we'll see what happens. Have you shopped at Pure Hockey? They are America's largest hockey retailer with dozens of stores and the option to shop online. If you or any of your kids play hockey, Pure Hockey is the place to find just about all of your equipment, skates, sticks, gear, bags, jerseys, and accessories. Plus, Pure Hockey is one of our affiliate partners. Next time you break your hockey stick or your kid grows out of his skates, why not check out purehockey.com? While you are looking for hockey equipment, you can also browse around for merchandise from your favorite NHL team, you know who Breezy's and mine are, and make gift giving even easier for your hockey loving friends and family. And do us a favor, use our special link for purehockey.com when you browse the site and make a purchase because we'll receive a small commission, which helps me and Breezy create this podcast. Head to the episode's show notes for the special direct link to shop at purehockey.com. Fun facts for you. There is going to be a Ryan O'Reilly E60 on ESPN, which for as much as I crap on ESPN, I'm happy to see some hockey like style documentaries, and it's all about love and family. I watched the trailer and I was like, but I don't understand what this is about. So it didn't really give me a good picture of what was going to be discussed, but I am looking forward to watching that because he is one of the nicest guys in the league and someone I've talked to. And so I'm very much looking forward to watching that.
Watch your old friend.
Watch my old pal, Ryan. He doesn't know who I am. Also, some more celebrities have entered the chat and the conversation of owning the Ottawa Senators. And I got a couple thoughts here. Snoop Dogg has entered the conversation on a separate bid from Ryan Reynolds. Sorry, I had to make sure I didn't say Ryan O'Reilly.
Was it not in addition to?
It is my understanding that it is a separate bid for the separate financial backer. And also The Weeknd is now entering the chat of trying to buy, being in one of the partnerships of the bids that are like, they're not, you can't like solely own them. I mean, maybe Ryan Reynolds has $1 billion, but like, they're in doing partnerships, right? To try to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why all these celebrities want to own the Ottawa Senators. No offense to Sens fans, but like, is this really the right move? Like, yes, I know Chris last week said that like it's good because it's bringing attention to the team and the town and the fan base, and they're very great and all those things. But like, these are the teams you're trying to buy? Like, this is the team you want to buy?
I'm going to say it's because of Brady Tkachuk.
That's a hard stretch for me to get behind.
Did you see that he like got off the bus and he was like, everybody, and they're all looking, he's like, we're winning the Stanley Cup. And then he walked away. Was that for Matthew or was that for himself when Snoop entered the chat?
I think he's just got a lot of time in the off season and is probably enjoying the links and the drinks, and who the hell knows what
and watching his brother in the crowd. I'm still waiting for
sister
Wild Brady. Yeah, Wild Brady in the crowd throwing back beers and starting his little shirtless wind up things.
We'll see.
That
We'll
family.
see. We'll
I
see
love
what
the
we get.
Kachucks.
I know. But I'm just a little concerned. I've got like a little hesitation. I'm like, I'm cool with one celebrity bringing attention to our sport and the NHL because we do need, we could use a few more fans for sure,
Hmm.
as a whole. But Snoop, The Weeknd, Ryan, like I'm getting a little nervous. Like it's just a little too much attention. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I appreciate Snoop because Ryan Reynolds is a hockey fan too, but Snoop's been a long time hockey fan for
Hmm.
many, many, many years. And he really wants to be part of this to bring the sport to more people, more kids,
Hmm.
people of different backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds,
Hmm.
all of the things. So like I'm leaning a little more towards like Snoop being involved, but like I don't know. I get a little worried when you get all these big names and all this attention and
But like, why the Weeknd? Like, he's from Toronto.
I don't know. He's looking to expand his portfolio. I don't know. It's
It
like
just makes no sense to me.
they're just like
But I mean,
reaching
it
for
doesn't necessarily make sense for Ryan either if he's from Vancouver,
right.
but I mean,
But also it's like financial choice. It's like a financial
yeah,
decision. You have to put your
right. Yeah.
teams
But like the Weeknd, I
aside.
really just don't get.
I know.
And Snoop, I mean, he's a big Kings fan, but I mean, that doesn't really matter.
But like also it's the Senators in Ottawa.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a good franchise. It's a great team. Like but it's like I just like I'm missing the connection here.
I
Unless
feel like maybe we should just go to Ottawa and witness it for ourselves.
okay,
You're
yeah,
acting like I'm asking you to go to like Kansas.
but you are. That's
Kansas and Canada.
I have nothing against it. I just like it's not very high on my list of places to like. If my first trip to Canada is to Ottawa, I mean that would be like a real hockey thing to do. But like really,
I
like I can
mean, it
drive to
looks nice.
Montreal.
Yeah, but it looks nice.
Yeah, it's not that it's bad. It's just, you know,
It's just not
high on the
some other
list.
place.
It's just not high on the list, Breezy. But I
Okay, who
hear
would be,
you.
other than the Blackhawks, who would be number one on your list to buy?
Oh boy.
See,
To
Ottawa
buy?
is right there.
Oh, like if in a fantasy world, like that the
Uh-huh.
team wasn't for sale. I mean, I would love to own the Rangers. I would
Hmm.
love to own the Knights. Um, as much as it makes me want to throw up to say this, the Kings. Um, yeah, lots of
Huh.
other teams.
Yeah, I guess.
I would not want to own the Leafs. No way.
No, that would be
No
tough.
way. That is a tough fan base to have to answer to. I mean, all
Yeah,
the fan bases are, but especially Toronto. But anyway, all right. We've
yeah.
gone off sidetrack here, but that's what I got.
Okay.
What team would you want to own?
Um,
You
Besides
would
like
want
the
to own the
obvious,
Senators?
probably. I mean, no, probably
Okay.
not.
Okay. Let's say
The
that.
Oilers would be cool.
Okay. Is that just
Montreal would be cool.
because you've got McDavid and Drysaitel? What if you
I
don't have
think it's
them?
just because no, I think it's just like the history
All
because
right.
you had like Gretzky on the team, and I feel like it's just like it'd be cool.
Okay.
Plus, I like the colors.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's it.
Anything else? Is that it?
That's it. That's
That's all
all
we
I
got.
got. Thanks for coming over to our House of Hockey podcast and hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. And in the meantime, you can follow us on social media. Just look for House of Hockey podcast. We'll be back next week.